Hello. Oof, that came out wrong. Hello, everyone, and welcome to Longer and Harder, the show on the intro where we take a subject and we go deeper. How are you all doing today? I hope you all are having yourselves a wonderful, wonderful, whatever day it is today. Sunday afternoon, post 4th of July stuff, I believe. So yeah, welcome, everyone. Hello. We have a good news. Somebody who I know, de Balis, who's speaking Spanish. So hey, buenos días, buenas tardes, ¿cómo estás? Yes, so hello, let's see, things and stuff that have happened. I went camping yesterday night. I got home yesterday, but I went camping the day before that. That was fun. I am trying to get the wife more into camping things and stuff, which would be fun, especially here in the summer. In the Midwest, there's a whole lot of fun camping things to be done, like, all the time, and I would, I used to go camping a whole lot, so I took my wife camping. She got eaten by mosquitoes, so rest in peace for her. I got slightly eaten by mosquitoes, less so than her, but just a little bit, little bit eaten, as I sit here itching my legs under the camera because they're fucking itchy. So that was fun, but it was still a good time. We went a little hike, just got to enjoy some camping, made some brats over fires, made some s'mores over fires, made a lot of fire things. It was good times. We're probably gonna try to do it again in like a couple of weeks or so, because I would love to. So we'll see. Either way, all sorts of fun things. With that, announcement stuff. Do we have, let's see, that's not what I want to turn off. I want to turn off the welcome. Housekeeping. There isn't much housekeeping. The audio sounds like, sounds a little rough. Uh-oh. Why are you a little rough, audio? I have no idea why it's rough. Should be coming out of the right place. Filters might be moved. I don't know. Yeah, levels seem high. Okay, I can turn them down for sure. It might be one of those things that I've been, I struggle with this because I'm a dumbass. So I struggle with this a lot because I'm real stupid. But like, I usually like, there's like, okay, Mike is here, which is part of the problem. Mike is to my side, not in front of me, which means if I talk like this way, you actually get to like hear the noisy bits, but I talk this way, which means that like yeah, it's, I'm a dumbass. I don't know how microphones work. It's just kind of my own fault at this point. Yeah, it kind of sounds like, you know what, I was filters are there. Some of my settings in Streamlabs are a little wonky. Like my chat's kind of got everything. It's still peaking. That's super weird. I don't know why it's doing that. I'll turn it down a little bit more. There are supposed to be filters in place that are like meant to stop it from doing that or whatnot. And I don't know what's up with that. I don't know. So maybe I gotta mess with some settings and stuff. I'll do that off air, but yeah, I'll turn down my sound so at least my yelling isn't ear hurty. Hello, Lisa Butterfly, how are you? Hello, Joe Server. Hello, Jelly. Hello, Micro. Hello, John Allen. How are you? I hope you're all having yourselves a wonderful Sunday afternoon. Housekeeping. Is there any housekeeping? You probably noticed because it didn't happen. If you were interested in it, the D&D game for the Friday was canceled due to prior engagements by one of the players, and that's fine. I had kind of moved it to the 3rd as kind of a not last minute, but fairly last minute thing. I had originally said it would be like 2 weeks before the next game, and then I would do it, and then I was like, oh, I have Friday off, and then after that I was like, oh, I was busy at work, but I was like, oh, I don't really have to go to work, so or tomorrow, like I am supposed to have a client start, but they're not starting, and so I have extra free time at work, so I was like, oh, I'm just gonna take Thursday off, use that time to plan a camping trip. And so I did a lot of last minute things. So last minute, it was kind of canceled. It was fine. It worked out for me because it meant that I could go to South Dakota a little bit earlier in the day, which was fun. So my wife and I got to make it to the campgrounds earlier. We got to go to a vineyard in Iowa, just east of South Dakota. So we went to a vineyard, had some wine, went to the campsite, had some wine, put up a tent, and had some more wine. So it was fun. So yeah, it all worked out more or less the same. So hopefully things. So that got not canceled. It got postponed till next Saturday. So next Saturday at noon. Hopefully we will finish everything at noon on Saturday. That is the plan. the plan is that everything should get finished up on noon on Saturday, for the hopefully I'm hoping is going to be a 2-part one shot, but we'll see. Hopefully it's just a 2-part, because I don't not that I don't like it, but hopefully it's just 2 parts, because it gets, the longer the parts go and the longer you go in between sessions, I feel like the harder it gets for people to remember what they're doing, especially with the players that I have are playing in multiple campaigns, one shot, so there's usually some about of like, I forget what my character can do kind of stuff. So like keeping them close together is better. I really enjoyed, I've done a couple of one shots that have actually legit been like one shots, like we got this done in one shot and that was great and that worked out great. Like the charity one that we did back in whatever month we did the charity one, and then there's one that I did for with Christy Winters and Micro and Christiosity, that was also like exactly 3 hours, which was fantastic. But getting those time to like be 3 hours is really difficult, like getting them like to time the amount of encounters and the amount of stupid things that players are gonna do. I call it stupid, but in a nice way. Like I think the stupid things that players do are amazing, and that's my favorite part about being a DM. But there's still the things that I didn't plan for, and keeping those reined in is difficult. So so it sounds like a challenge for us to fuck around more. Yes. However, I will try to. I would like to do one more one shot before the end of the summer with 4-ish players, I'm thinking. So if you're interested in that, the charity one also took 8 hours, but it was one session, so I'll take it. So I would like to do one more one shot before summer. After that, things are probably going to slow down a little bit because school starts soon. Mid-August I start school again. I'm taking race and ethnicity, which is a sociology class, and I'm taking Native American literature, which is an English class, because I'm all done with psychology classes, at least for now. So I'm gonna take a couple of just like fun classes, and those are the 2 that I chose. It should be fun, it should be great. I guess my professor knows a professor from my professor at UNO knows a professor from Beloit College, which was where I got my my BA, so that was kind of neat to find out. Yeah, so all of this is housekeeping nonsense. So yes, if you would like to, I'm still really loud. Jeez Louise, like it doesn't show that loud on my end. I don't know what is going on with that. Like I am not even near like the yellow bits, whatever that means, right? So yeah, so if you would like to participate in that or would be interested, I don't know, send me a DM, follow me on Twitter, do the things. You know how this works. I will be asking for players probably in the coming week or so of people who might be interested in playing in a one last one shot for the summer. I might do some more during the school year, but school year, right, is more important. I should focus on school, is kind of what that is. But we'll see how taxing school is this next semester. We're still not sure how school is going to work at UNO for the fall semester. Like professors still don't know if they're having in-person classes, which I doubt, or if they're doing remote, or how any of that works. There's a lot of like nobody knows what's going on. Because nobody knows what's like for very obvious reasons. Nobody actually knows what's going on, so we don't know what's going on. Who knows is pretty much where that ends up at. Hello Richard, how are you? I hope you're having yourselves a wonderful afternoon. All right, with all that said, we got ourselves a we do not have a beer of the week as per usual. We have water. It's made with H's and O's, and 2 of those. I think I got that wrong. 2 H's, 1 O. What time would the one shot be? I have no idea. It's just a thing that I'm throwing out there for people who are interested. I'm gonna wait until after I'm finished with this one before I start really planning that one out. So yeah, so there's that. There's no beer of the week. I am actually like all out of beer, which is really sad. I have like one big old jug of beer, which I'm really tempted to open actually. Should I open it? Maybe next week. So just drinking water at this time. So we got ourselves a video menu. Number 6 is not here. I had other plans for today's show, so I did not plan to have a regular longer and harder. So if you vote for 6, you're wasting your vote, is pretty much what I'm saying. Water of the week. Tap water from Omaha, Nebraska, which is relatively tasty. I do enjoy it. So yes, if you vote for number 6, you are entirely wasting your vote, because we already went through the whole video. So don't do that. I am, however, willing to take suggestions if people have suggestions for a 7th video. Otherwise, we have ourselves 7-Year-Old Transitions by Blair White, Immigration by ARTV, SJWs versus Sonics by Geekdom 101, Interview with Who Would WHO by Ran Mercam, Shadows by Mr. Thrive and Survive, C Curve Level by the Margot still at it. Yeah, no, Markel's still at it. I'm surprised that I find. I mean, I'm not surprised at all. Okay, I guess I got the voting thing going. I'm not surprised at all. Like I tried to have like I know kind of the subject matter and how this show has changed quite a bit. I understand that. If you would like to vote, all you gotta do is put an upside down I vote and then the number you like to vote for as soon as Nightbot, or not Nightbot, the other bot, Cloudbot shows up. He will soon, I hope. Otherwise we really messed up. We'll take votes the old-fashioned way, I guess, otherwise, which I don't want to, because that would be a pain in the ass. Seeker Low sounds like talking about platformer. Oh gosh, Nightbot, where are you at, my friend? You are on, and you are, according to this thing, I think something's just like not going well with OBS today. Like OBS is just being super funky today, which might be why we're having like level issues and now apparently voting issues. So that's fun. We're gonna cancel that poll. Let's try again. Let's try one more time before I quit and do a different there we go. Now you can vote. Now you can vote. Upside down vote, and the number you like to vote for. There, we got there eventually. That took way too long. Am I playing any games at the moment? Currently, I am playing Animal Crossing, as one does in the summer. They did a summer update on the 3rd, so you can go diving now. It's really cool, and you get that was fun. So I've been playing that as one does. I've been they had a sale for Wolfenstein New Colossus, I believe, on the Switch. That a sale. It was like $10, $15, something really cheap. So I ended up buying that, and I'm trying to wrap my head around it. On the one hand, it's really fun. Like, it really is a very good shooter, but on the other hand, it does some weird things that I don't particularly enjoy. It really tries to shoehorn stealth mechanics into it, but don't really work very well, and I really dislike but it doesn't force you to do it. It's just like it doesn't necessarily punish you, like, but it makes you feel bad if you fuck it up. Like there's these Nazi officers that you're supposed to find, like, and kill, and like you have like stealth attacks and you're supposed to like sneak up on them and kill them, but getting spotted is super easy, and there's no real feedback about like where soldiers are and whatnot. So it doesn't have like the stealth game mechanics to let you be like, oh, there's somebody coming around the corner kind of shit. Like, you just have to guess and hope for the best. So I end up fucking up a lot, and then you just get into shooty bits, and the shooty bits are fun. Like, just going like ham on Nazis, fantastic. That gameplay is great. It's on point. I do love that. The stealth element is garbage, and I don't know why it's in the game. I think it doesn't ruin it, but it really makes me like, why am I even gonna bother with it? Which I'm not. So I'm just not going. I just kind of stopped bothering with the stealth bits of New Colossus, which is fine. I don't know why they're in there anyway. So you can just kind of play it otherwise. What else have I been playing? I've been playing a lot of Underminer, which is a Steam thing. I think it's a beta-ish game, early access game. I forget what it is. It's not out yet, right? It's fantastic. It's really addicting. So that's been fun. That's been a really good game to play for that one. We're gonna say, if you like stealth towards Nazis, try Sniper Elite Series. Yeah, and like there's really good stealth games out. Like, I got no problem with stealth games. I enjoy them. I think the last one that I really played that I enjoyed a whole lot was something Ninja, Mask of the Ninja, something of the Ninja. It's I bought it on Steam. You play Ninja, obviously. It's 2D, like, side-scrolling thing, but like, it's set up. The stealth bits are set up to be Mark of the Ninja. I don't know. The stealth bits are set up to like actually work, so you can like see. So even like simple things that or like useful for stealth games, like you can see like the cone of vision of the guards, where lights are. That one in particular has like if like guards is walking around, you can see the sound and sort of how far it spreads out, which is good because you can see your own sound as well. So it's a lot of things that makes the stealth game like useful. And Mark of the Ninja, that sounds about right. So that one's fun. It's just, and then like I don't have a problem with stealth games. It's just one of those things that I feel like Wolfenstein should probably not be a stealth game. It feels like it just shouldn't be one. That's all. But like what is left of the game is a whole lot of fun. So I'm enjoying it. So I've been enjoying that. I did also. God, I did an awful. At least I think it's an awful. I did an awful, and I set up boot camp on my Mac so that I could play Shapes.io, whatever that, which is really fun and addicting. So I did just set up Windows on my Mac so that I could play that one game. Probably there's other games that I could play on it now too, I guess, like the original Doom games that I own on Steam and whatnots. But so that's been kind of the ones that I've really been playing lately. I'm still working on my Gunpla stuff, so that I still have my bin of Gunpla nonsense over there, ready to. I've been working on that, so that's been keeping me busy. I'll probably have some more crafty projects and whatnots to work on. I put pictures of that stuff. And then D&D's been keeping me super busy. I've been running like 2 games and playing in 1, except for this week. This week I only ran 1 game and then played in none. Shapes is great though, but the bug for the last shape kind of horrible though. I haven't gotten to the last shape there, so that's good. You can no longer vote. By the way, you can play Shapes.io on a browser if you want to give it a try. It is really good. I do hear that late game, even on Steam, the release on Steam gets the FPS really drops because you have just like so much garbage going on at the same time. So that kind of sucks, and I hope that gets fixed. But otherwise, it seems to be fun. I have not gotten to the crazy shapes yet. I think I'm at the first crazy shape at the moment. The one thing that does suck is that in order to play, I have to like restart my computer, boot into whatever. Oh shoot, we got a tie. Boot into Windows and then play, which takes a lot longer than I want it to be. But yeah, no, check out Shapes.io. It's really good. Throwing wolves at rocks sounds great. The poll resulted in a tie between 5 and 7. 5 being Shadows. Oh, we got 2 Flat Earth videos that are kind of tied. Do I have my cell phone? I do have my cell phone with me. Who's running low on battery. So we'll ask cell phone here real quick to flip a coin. So we'll go. I guess I have dice too, but let's let Google be. Let's interact with Google for a little bit. We'll go heads is Shadows, tails is the Morgau, C whatever is. So we'll make that a thing. All right. Woo. Flip a coin. Oh, there you go. Oh.
It's tails.
It's tails. It actually shows me tails. I didn't know it did that. That's kind of cool. Okay, so it's tails, which I said was gonna be C curb level, which is by the Morgau. So fantastic stuff. Oh, the Morgau. I am. That's what I was talking about. I sometimes I am amazed at the fact that the people are still kind of, that some of the people who have been doing this for a while, like the Morgau, like Mr. Thrive and Survive, are somehow still doing their shtick. Especially considering like how just garbage their content is about the best way to put it. Like how apps like it's just not good content overall. Hello, buddy. You gonna sit down for me? Be a good boy. There we go. Good boy. Okay, so the name of this video is going to be C curve level equals ball earth sun by the Morgau. Yeah, the Morgau. I hope he still does this. For a while there, he did this thing where like all of his videos had like a 3-hour intro to them, which was fantastic. It was a lot of fun. Like that was his thing for a while. Is all of his videos had an unnecessarily long intro, and I don't know why he did it. And it was great. It was fantastic. So that's what we got to deal with today. Is the Moriao, who's going to tell us some. I think just some very standard flat Earth proof things that we'd all seen and love and enjoy. I don't think it's going to be anything too out of the ordinary for a flat earther. The last shape asks something weird, and the bug can make you think the correct solution isn't the correct solution. Oh, I see. Well, hopefully that gets fixed. I would love to keep playing it. I am enjoying it quite a bit. Okay. Oh, here's another one. I forgot about this. The left thinks the humans are the disease by the Daily Wire. I don't know why that's on here. Probably because I wanted to watch it at some point. So maybe that'll be added for next week. Okay. Here we go. I don't know if there's supposed to be sound here, so here's hoping the sound actually works. Oh, there it is. There it is.
What's up, everybody? John the Morgile here. Gonna do a brand new video for you. Hope you enjoy it. We're gonna respond to a video which claims to debunk the flat earthers and prove a ball Earth. In this video, what they do is they debunk a valid point made by flat earthers by contorting that point into an invalid straw man argument, which can then be attacked and, of course, easily defeated.
So I'm surprised that people are still. I mean, I guess I'm not, because it, like, flat Earth stuff isn't like new, right? Like flat Earth nonsense is the same flat Earth nonsense that we see now and talk about now. Is the same flat Earth nonsense that has been talked about since forever. Like it's a movement that's existed for a long time. So this isn't this is a new. I'm surprised that the flat earthers are still such sticklers for this whole curb dealio, mabob. Like I it's been explained so many times that I don't know what else there is to say about it besides, like, yeah. I don't like this picture, right? Like, it's I can already tell what this is gonna be. This is gonna be the this is going to be the whole the Earth looks flat. Why doesn't it look curved? Shenanigans, right? Why can't we see it be look curved? Which has been explained thousands of times about how when you are as small as a person is on a ball, it's gonna look flat. There's no reason why it shouldn't. It should look round, and to make it look round, you have to go very, 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 very high up to start to see it. And we do have footage of it looking round from not just CGI NASA photos, but even flat Earth balloon videos, which is honestly my favorite my favorite flat Earth proof, or when flat earthers send out like weather balloons and whatnots up into the sky, and then the footage you get back is like you can see the curve of the Earth. I think that's my favorite, along with what's his face, who was like who did the laser gyroscope thingamabob, where they actually detected the rotation of the Earth with a very, 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 very precise and very, very expensive laser gyroscope thing, and then like hid the results because didn't want to talk about the results because it contradicted him. It was on the that flat Earth documentary where that came out. I forget what it was called, Behind the Curve or something like that. It was a very good documentary. I had a lot of fun watching it. I need to watch it again. I think it was on Netflix for a bit. It might still be on there. It's definitely worth a watch. Same old video smell. Yeah, nothing has changed here. Oh god. All right, here we go. We'll try a little bit more of this nonsense.
If it doesn't make sense yet, it should by the time this video is through. So let's start from the beginning. We've all seen tons of high-altitude weather balloon footage where
same stuff.
Earth curvature can be seen in all of its glorious sphericity. Most people will scoff at the idea of a flat Earth as a direct result of footage from such flights as the famous Felix Baumgartner Red Bull jump from space. Since we can clearly see the curvature of the Earth from 20 miles up, And the Earth is most certainly a sphere, as they say.
So, God, this is such a waste of time, I swear. That's okay. We chose it, so we're going to talk about it. That was Jeranism. Who did what? So yeah, one of the things that is fascinating, again, like this has been shown countless times, that this isn't that like footage does show a curved Earth. So one of the things you got to do, one, I learned this about cameras, and I'm sure someone who's better and smarter about cameras and curved lenses can explain this in a better way than I can. But the way that camera lenses work, they take they are curved, right? They have to be, and pretty much light comes in, and then it gets refracted towards the middle bit, which is the pinhole camera bit, the sensor or the eye or whatever you have there. The laser gyroscope thing was, I don't think it was Jared, is it Bob something, Bob the flat earth Bob, I remember that's his name. I think he's part of Globebusters or whatever that is, but it wasn't Jeranism who said it. It was Bob who said it, and I think it was a Jeranism project to like get the laser gyroscope, which is expensive. It's like $60,000 or something. It's something ludicrous, way more than anyone should be spending on a fucking gyroscope. That's for damn sure. If you're not going to, if you're just going to do it to prove that the Earth is flat, you are spending way too much money. Because you don't have, okay, mostly I say that you're spending way too much money because you don't need to spend that much money to convince people, flat Earth people, to give you money. Like, the whole flat Earth thing is a scheme anyway. So if you just want to take money away from your followers or whatever, you don't need to spend $60,000 on anything, right? Like you can just do what the Morgile does and get plenty of money. You can just, what was the laser test that was also in that, there was that laser test that was in that one movie. Oh, I watched this with a bunch of people once. There was this like flat earth documentary where they did like a long distance laser test and didn't show the results, which was really funny. They also did like a radio test and also didn't show the results. It was great. Not showing the results was probably my favorite part about that documentary. You can just do that, right? Like you can continue to the end of the internet. You can continue to go do laser tests, go send out high altitude balloon footage, go send drones up into the air. You can continue to do the same bullshit because you've been doing it for so long. And people will give you money. You don't have to spend it looks like $20,000, I guess, not 60. You don't have to spend $60,000 to get people to give you money. Like they're gonna give, they're obviously not all the bright people, so they're gonna give you money. Like you're being ineffective with the way that you're scamming people. So yeah, they got it for $20,000, which is still way too much money for a laser gyroscope, but that was fun. But okay, so sorry, camera things. Yeah, cameras lenses are curved. They refract light into the middle bit, which tends to be the light sensor / your eye / whatever, right? And that's how they work. So what are the things that you that happens when you have like footage like this, which is obviously a wide whatever they're called, wide aspect ratio lens. They have a name. They're the ones that serve for use on GoPros, because you get a better, not a better, but you get a wide shot, right? You can see more with these kinds of lenses. God, what are the names of these lenses? Why can't I remember these things? But pretty much they're curved more so that light from more angles can be captured is a weird word to say use there, but captured by the lens and then refracted towards the sensor. So you get a much wider view of everything. And they're neat for if you want to show up fisheye, yeah, wide angle lens, fisheye lens, I think those are both kind of the common terms. I think there's like one that's more like photographically accurate, and then one's like the more colloquial way to use it, if I remember right, because there's like a fisheye lens. This isn't a fisheye lens, it's like a wide angle lens, and there's a reason there's the difference, but for like the colloquial speaking, it doesn't matter, I think. But yeah, so this is a wide angle lens, so yes, it means that you can see more, and they're used for, like, surfers use them, and hikers use them, and people like to use these kinds of lenses because you get to see more. And if you're going to send somebody into pretty much space to jump off of a balloon, you might as well get a whole lot of you might as well get the ability to see a whole lot. It'd be really dumb to send somebody up into space and then throw them off a balloon, but not have a camera that captures like a really good view of that. That would be like this whole thing isn't done. This isn't like this whole thing, the Felix Baumgarten shit, right? That was done as a publicity stunt, right? Like Red Bull did it so that they could have Red Bull trending on Twitter for a couple of days or whatever, right? Like, it was all a publicity stunt. It's all to make money. This isn't a science project. This isn't to prove flat earthers wrong. This isn't to prove that the earth is round. This is a publicity stunt. So the aim of it isn't to go get like an accurate picture of the earth. It's to get a whole lot of angles of one shots that look really cool, so that people are gonna post it and repost it and whatnot. It's like that's really all that it is. And so there's this weird complaint that like, and flat earthers do complain about this. It's like, why do they always send wide angle lenses on these balloon things? Why do they always send up, why did Felix Baumgarten, why did they send that camera up there? Because the point isn't to satisfy your weird internet obsession, flat earthers. The point is to make money off of this weird stunt. That is the point. The point is to just make money off of this stunt. So they're gonna send cameras up there that make that jump look cooler, and it's gonna look cool. Not gonna lie, it looks way cooler to see this curved planet and then have this person jump out of it so that they can look like they're falling towards the earth. It's a cooler shot. That's really like 100% in. It's a very innocent answer for capitalism. Yeah, it's just a very innocent answer to why they chose this. So yeah, but you can still there are ways to still see. So the way that the like wide angle lenses curve light is that they curve light at pretty much any point that is in the middle. It gets curved, right? So if you but the things in the middle don't. So if you can find a spot, and I think I've done this, and there's probably a video of me doing it and other people doing it because it's really easy. If you go through this footage here, right, like you go through the Felix Baumgarten footage and you find a spot where the footage, you go frame by frame or whatever method you want to do, and you find a place where the horizon is directly intersects the center of the frame. The lines that cross that center, and any line, horizontal, vertical, diagonal line that cross that center bit, they aren't distorted, at least not by the lens. They're not distorted. There's a little bit, but I don't think there's enough for it to matter. And then you can actually look at that horizon line and see if it curves, and when you do that, it curves. You can see this in I think I've done it to Jaronism's footage at some point in the past, because he sent out a not wide angle lens up into the up in a weather balloon, and it, funnily enough, you can see the horizon curves. And you can do this with like super like wide angle lenses. You can have those lines in the middle, and you can see that those lines are straight, and it's only the lines that are below and above that are actually curved. It's really neat. It's a really neat experiment. So if you want to do it, go ahead and find it, because you can definitely get that. You can get those straight lines to show up, which means that you can see whether the lines are curved or not. Oh, okay. Like the people who complained that they didn't use a Polaroid camera on the Apollo missions. Yes. And people are always going to complain about, like, why didn't you use this particular bit of equipment. Oh, this happened. I remember now. Oh God, fucking remember what's his face? Rory. Guys, remember Rory? Rory, who gave me shit. I don't think he's a flat earther, but he gave me a whole lot of shit for my Eric Dubay videos. And he did the exact same thing where he was like, why didn't you use like these images that I have taken and I have access to? Why didn't you show this experiment of water being level? Which is such a flatter conspiracy thing to do, really, is to complain about like the equipment being used. One, there's more than one way to show things. Two, it's fine. You don't have to complain about the equipment. Wide angle lenses, yeah. Photoshop has lens correction for all sorts of lenses. Oh, that's neat. Yeah, fucking Rory. I swear, I don't even know how Rory's doing. I have not. I was one person that I stopped listening to a while ago. I don't think he's a flat earther. I think he's a regular internet skeptic kind of individual out there, but he really had he really had some things to say about me, which was funny. All right, so with that said, let's move on to a little bit more of the sea level sea curve. Hobbs is here, and let's see if we can get a good. He's being adorable, as cats are. I know you are cute, buddy. There we go. You can kind of see his dumb face there. Look at that cutie. What a cutie.
The problem is when you send up your own weather balloon without using a fisheye lens, the pronounced curvature that we saw in the other videos no longer exists.
So this again, like, this has been why I'm consistently surprised by this, is that it's not like people have taken this footage. I want to point, but there you go. People have taken this footage and they have they've done what I said to do, and stick it right in the middle. And they have also if you mess with the what's it called, the contrast, you can get rid of the bloom from the atmosphere, and so you can really like actually you can see the curve in the dog cam footage, which is really fun. He looks like a grandpa that has fallen asleep and shit. I know, right? He's so good. Such a good boy. He's all over my stuff. Let's see if we can get a little bit of close up on the little kitty cat. There we go. What a good boy. He's just a good boy. He's so fluffy. A little fluffy butt. Are you talking about Rory? He's not a FR, he's a debunker. I think he had a peer where he pretended to be a fluffer to get into a group. Yeah, I don't. He made like 1 or 2 videos about me, if I remember. Or one really long video about me. I don't remember. We did like 2 longer and harders about Rory, because he was talking shit about me. And so he just talked shit about me, and he kind of made the excuse that what was his excuse, that he's from Ibiza, I think. He's a European, and he's like, I don't think you got my sarcastic tone or something like that. Like he wasn't trying to be an ass, he was just being overly sarcastic, and that I didn't get it. And I mean, maybe I did. I'm a fucking idiot, so what do I know, right? But he came off like a real jackass, and so we did watch his video on Longer and Harder. This was like a year or 2 ago, and it was just I couldn't I couldn't take him seriously, and so we didn't. It exists somewhere if you want to watch it. Fucking yeah, Rory Can't River, if I remember right. That was the name of it, I think. Rory Can't River. Stupid Undercover is a show I would watch. Why would anyone talk shit about you? You never get into fights ever. I know, right? I'm a perfectly civil individual all 100% of the times. Good times. So yeah, so that was that. Oh God, Rory! I have to find Rory again. He was a hoot. He was a hoot.
Now, what does this prove?
Nothing.
Does it prove the Earth's flat?
I don't know.
Well, not necessarily. what it proves is that the videos such as the Red Bull jump were exaggerating and even.
So I do love this, right? Like I do like this. This is very much so in the what's that called? Confirmation bias side of things. Like it very, very much so is confirmation bias, which is my favorite bit. Like how does like the Morgau completely 100% ignores the footage that disagrees with him, right? Like the Red Bull footage, he 100% ignores. Like it can't be real, right? And he'll only accept footage that he thinks agrees with him, like the dog cam footage, which again doesn't actually, but whatever. He's not going to agree with it. So it's a very, very nice example of confirmation bias, which I do love. Always love to have good examples. Oh, his ears are so soft. He's such a good boy. Look at him. I think he missed me. I think he missed me while I was gone. Also, the cats were like super stressed out because it was fireworks day here in the States yesterday, and just fireworks. Just fireworks. That was it. That was all of it. Just fireworks. Poor kitties. They were hiding. Emma was hiding under the bed. Hobbs was all cuddled up with me. Just send this man into space to see for himself. I always wondered about that. Like I always, it's okay. Oh, it's okay. I always wonder about that. Like I get the feeling that you could, right? You could spend the money to get people like the Morgau, Jeranism, any of these people up into space. You could do that for, I don't know, science purposes or whatever, educational purposes. I think they would come back. I legit think they would come back and deny that they saw the curve of the Earth. They would potentially, I think a lot of them would use it as a way to make even more money off of their silly followers by like all around just claiming like, hey, this was all fake. I was hallucinating. I think it was really in a simulation machine, whatever things that they could say to be able to deny the fact that they were in space, and they could experience it all. Like they could experience microgravity. They could experience, they could do like the whole, having the bottle of water and opening it up and let it go. Like they could experience it, and I think some of them would absolutely deny it. I think some of them would also. I think some of them would also use it to make money. These are people who have, I think Jeranism has said in the past that like telescope lenses are designed to make things look curved. Like this is the kind of like, this is the level of delusion that people get to, where they'll say you can't even trust telescopes because they're curved. The lenses are curved in telescopes without understanding how magnification works. It's yeah. I think it'd be a waste of time, honestly. That's why it should be a one-way ticket. They don't get to try out my gravity. I need to stay on here. That's true. They put LSD in my water. I'm sure they could come up with something, right? The amount of mental gymnastics that people will do to deny things they disagree with is always fascinating. Not only true for flat earthers. It's not always true. It's true for everybody, right? Not just flat earthers. It's true to me and to everyone else. I probably go through some mental gymnastics to deny some things. To what degree? Who knows? I try to be a little bit more skeptical, but that doesn't matter. But even the skeptics on the internet will do also a whole lot of mental gymnastics to deny things to disagree with. Most recently, if you follow any of my Twitter spats with people, you notice real quickly how often internet skeptics will deny things like systemic racism. Something that I used to do. I have said in my past that there's no such thing as systemic racism. There's no such thing as sexism. There's no such thing as discrimination in the world, or at least in the U.S. because reasons. like you can do all sorts of mental gymnastics to convince yourself that the things that you disagree with don't exist. Something that I've done, something you probably have done, something we all do. We're all in this shit show together. Microscopes lenses that don't distort shape and have even focus all the way across are expensive compared to other lenses. I bet they are. And also it's I mean, it's definitely an excuse that is said so that so that they can deny whatever they can see, right? Like you can't even trust your own eyes, kind of deal. It's because it's not a matter of evidence, not about actual experiencing. It's a matter of just denying what you see. It's fun. Okay. Video. Nope, wrong tab. Video. Go.
Inventing whole cloth Earth curvature, deliberately or otherwise. I personally tend to believe that it is, this specific jump was indeed deliberately faking Earth curvature, as there were several cameras attached to the Red Bull capsule, all of which create the illusion of drastic, obvious Earth curvature.
And I mean, I've already talked about this, but I guess it's worth saying again. This wasn't done like this wasn't done to convince you, the Morgal, and every other flat earther that the Earth is curved. Like, this wasn't done for you. It's not all about you, the Morgal. It was a publicity stunt, and you really got to get over the fact that like you think the world revolves around you. I'm gonna keep that saying. I don't even care that it matters. Like, it doesn't. Yeah, it's not about you, the Morgal. It's not about you and your little club of friends. Red Bull doesn't care about you. They care about making money. They don't care about the fact, like, and you help. The funny part is you help them, right? Like, my favorite part about this is that Red Bull did this not to prove anything. They didn't do this to prove the shape of the Earth. They didn't do this to shit on flat earthers. They did it for money. And every time that flat earthers talk about this footage, every time they show it on their videos, every time it gets brought up, Red Bull wins. Like, Red Bull wins every time you do this. You are giving Red Bull exactly what they paid for, which is that you talk about their stupid video. Like, I think flat earthers have done more to help perpetuate and keep this. What is this video, like 6 years old at this point? When Felix Baumgartner did this jump, like, how is this video still talked about in 2020 is only a result of flat earthers still bringing it up. You are helping motivate other companies to do this kind of shit, because every time they do it, you all lose your shit. You all get this crap trending on Twitter, on other social media, because you think it's about you rather than it being the stupid publicity stunt that it is. Like, don't I mean, do it. I don't care, right? But you're the ones who are giving Red Bull the online traffic that it was looking for when it first came up with this publicity stunt. So good for you to helping out Red Bull, I guess. Flippers or Red Bull shills confirmed. All right, but yes, no, it's not about you, Morgal.
I don't think that can be done by accident, but not all of the cameras were so oriented. There was one, the interior camera facing out towards the front hatch, which actually shows the horizon that conspicuously lacks the curvature found in all the other cameras on the same capsule.
So I do love that camera shot is fantastic, right? Because it's showing what how, like, you can tell, you can see here on this screen cap here how little of the door is, right? Like, it's a pretty small opening there, so you can see how little of the actual horizon that camera is seeing. Like, it's seeing like none of it. It's seeing such a small part, which is which is why curves look flat. When you get really close up to them and you only look at a very, very small part of it, it looks flat. If you haven't seen this, one of my favorite flat Earth memes is the basketballs are flat meme. Like if you take a ball and you get real close to it and then you cut off the edges, it's going to look flat, which is what happens to us when we look at the horizon. We're looking at it really, really close by. We're not seeing thousands of miles of horizon. We're seeing a very small portion of it, and so it looks flat. And that's pretty much what that camera on the inside is doing. Is it's cutting off the horizon, and it's only showing you a very small part of it, and that's the part that flat earthers are like, yeah, no, look, it's flat. When you don't see the whole horizon, it's flat. And you could do this on even the image that's shown now. Like if you were to just cut, fuck, we can do it. Let's take some time to ruin my camera setup here. Let's do it. Like look at that. There we go. Look at that. See? Therefore, the Earth is flat. What is this? Why are you here? Why are you here? Random thing. I don't know what that is. But there you go. There it is. Now the Earth is flat. When you cut off the edges, when you cut off the edges of the horizon, yeah, it looks flat. Like there you go. Oh god, I hope flat earthers fucking find this video and see this. Like how much nonsense that is. There we go. Earth is flat, from the footage that was the Red Bull jump was able to capture. What is that thing in the back there? I don't know what that is. I should turn it off. I think it's this. Something with butts. It's always something with butts. The Earth is tilted. The Earth is also tilted. Oh goodness. It's this stuff is way too easy, I tell you. Way too easy.
But that is a bit besides the point.
Is it?
The point is, in videos like this one that we're reviewing here, the globetards have completely confused the issue at hand so as to give the appearance that flat earthers are claiming that videos without fisheye lenses prove the Earth is flat. Now, this is a distortion of the truth.
So that's also really funny. Like, then they're not going to say that videos with regular lenses, whatever, I don't know, not curved lenses, show that the Earth is flat. They're not going to say that because they need an out, right? They need an out for when you find footage of cameras with regular lenses show that the Earth is curved. Then they need an out for that. So they're never going to say that. Yeah.
Videos such as this one really only prove one thing. They prove that the curvature that we've all seen from classic weather balloon footage was manufactured by video trickery. Now,
no, it's again, if you I don't know why this needs to be explained to you, Morgal. Why capitalism needs to be explained to you, but apparently it does. It's that if you're going to spend all the money, like weather balloon footage, all these kind of footage, like this isn't cheap to do. It costs money and time and effort to schedule, to find the right weather, to buy the equipment that you may lose, because if you send a weather balloon up into the air, are you going to get that stuff back? Maybe. If you can find it again after it falls, is it going to survive? Maybe. If it survives being, falling from thousands of feet in the air. If you're going to spend all this time and effort into capturing, getting a picture of the Earth from really high up, you might as well put a wide angle lens on it so that you can capture the most of the Earth that you can. It's not all about you. These aren't done to trick you. These aren't done to trick the general public. These are done this way because wide angle lenses gets you the most bang for your buck. If you're gonna spend that much money on something, you might as well get a good shot out of it. Flat Earthers changed their story on a dime, so who knows what the current story is. This is a fairly new video, if I remember right. I did try to get, this is from May. So this is, I guess, at least for the Morgal, this is his story. at least for the Morgal. Who is it true for everyone else? Probably not. Flat earthers are like every Christian denominations. There's a billion of them, with each have their own independent beliefs.
Now, the question is, if the Earth were actually a sphere, then why would anyone need to fake Earth curvature from high altitude balloon flights?
So yeah, okay. This is perfect, because it really does show like the whole thing that I've been saying about why like nobody really cares. Like, these aren't done for you, right? The Morgal has started at a false assumption, right? His false assumption being that all of this footage is taken in order to deceive, right? Like, that's why he's already started at that assumption. Yeah, if you started that assumption, yeah, you can legitimately ask the question, why are they faking it then? Like, why do you need to fake it? If you start with the assumption that it's faked, that is a legit question to ask. However, you haven't demonstrated that they are faking it, one, or two, that they're doing it like that there's any nefarious, not even nefarious, just any what's the reason, any actual reason that that they're doing this deliberately. That's what I'm looking for. The Morgal hasn't been able to explain how this is being done deliberately, and that it is actually being fake. Like, that's just an assumption that he's making, because reasons. And so yeah, if you start with bad assumptions, you're gonna get bad conclusions from it. That's how that works. It's a little bit of it's more than a little bit of begging the question. Definitely begging the question of, let's assume that all of this is fake. If it's all fake, why is it being faked? You have to demonstrate that all of this footage is being faked, and that it's being faked deliberately too, rather than it's just that all the more Occam's razor explanation is that all of this footage comes out like curved, and that all of these people use wide angle lenses, that they use it because it's a better way to get the shots that they're looking for, which to me seems like a more reasonable conclusion, and one that has the least amount of weird assumptions than what the Morgal is kind of proposing.
Of course, the fisheye lenses used in such flights as the Red Bull jump from space do indeed create the illusion of curvature at any altitude. So whether you're 10 feet up or 10 miles up or 20 miles up, the fisheye lenses will create this illusion. So like if you're standing on a basketball court using a fisheye lens, I suppose the basketball court is a sphere, right? The orientation of this curvature that we see apparently through a fisheye lens depends on the angle of the camera towards the horizon. So it will. So
I do love this bit of. So most of this video is the Morgal complaining that flat earthers, that people create straw man of flat earth arguments. So flat earthers aren't go out there saying that camera footage or footage with cameras without a wide angle lens prove that the earth is flat. So they're not going out there saying that. It's globe earthers who are the ones who are out there saying that kind of stuff. It's not actually flat earthers. But all he can really do is do what he's complaining that everyone else is doing, is just set up whatchamacallit, straw man arguments for what is actually being said. Nobody, and I say this with absolute knowing that somebody actually says this, but nobody actually says that the earth is curved because fisheye lens or wide angle lens cameras show it curved. Nobody's saying that, right? People understand how these cameras work. Like, these cameras aren't a mystery. This isn't quantum mechanics. This isn't rocket science how these cameras work. People understand how these cameras work, and people understand that they can distort a straight line into a curved line, as he is clearly showing here. Again, what people like me say is, hey, if you are going to look at images from a wide angle camera, at least look at it the right way and make sure that the horizon is in the center, intersecting the center, and then the lines aren't actually distorted by the wide angle lens. Do it that way if you're going to use wide angle footage. If you're not going to, even if you're going to use regular footage, because even regular footage has a little bit of distortion. It's not like lenses are all slightly curved to some degree, so they're all going to have a slight bit of distortion. So just maybe actually listen to what people are saying, the Morgao, rather than create your straw man of what you think people are saying. Nobody, like I said, nobody legitimately uses Felix Baumgartner's footage as proof that the Earth is round. Like, we've known the shape of the Earth regardless of whether Felix Baumgartner had gone up and done his jump thing. People would still have known the shape of the Earth. It doesn't really affect it. Have any of them ever figured out how gravity would work on a flat Earth? Yeah, gravity doesn't exist. Like, gravity doesn't exist on a flat Earth. There's all sorts of weird, like, electromagnetic nonsense. What's the other one? Something in density. Pressure and density. Something in density. Buoyancy and density. That's the one. Buoyancy and density, which has no predictive capability. Also, buoyancy and density rely on gravity, so it's kind of a weird, like, yeah. They kind of just say gravity doesn't exist, and then come up with science laws that are like everything must fall down is one, or everything gets pushed down, but they don't give a reason why. It's just that is what happens. It's really weird. They're not very good at coming up with models of reality that give predictable results. They just kind of say things and then stop, and then don't take questions. Density does not depend on gravity. Relative density. Buoyancy does. Yeah, buoyancy does. Buoyancy needs gravity, which is always funny because they'll say a lot of it is buoyancy and density, but they forget that buoyancy kind of relies on gravity to work. Because they need to get the ground to grow new trees. I guess so. If the Earth was really disk under a dome, the horizon would still be curved. Would it? Probably. I don't know what the physics of a dome would be like. That'd be an interesting. I mean, I'm sure there's interesting models that you could create. But whatever model you can come up with, the problem is, of course, is that when flat earthers don't have a model that, like, they don't have a model. There isn't a model of the flat Earth, right? Every flat earther has their own model of the flat Earth, and there's a reason for that, and that's because they're all coming up with it on their own. So every flat earther has their own model of what the flat Earth is like. The other reason why there isn't a model is because they used to, right? There was a time where flat earthers were coming up with maps, we're coming up with models, we're coming up with especially predictable models, and those models were being tested. And the problem, of course, with it is that when you test these models, they don't line up with reality. And so there was a shift where flat earthers stopped presenting models. I think the Morgao is one of the few that I remember, at least he was still doing it the last time that I kind of interacted with him, was still presenting some sort of model of a flat Earth, but almost everyone else wasn't. My favorite person to sort of look at this is Tiger Dan, I believe that was his name. Tiger Dan. Yeah, that remember Daniel Tiger is a kids cartoon show that's like Mr. Rogers but done with a tiger. I wonder if that's where he got his name from. Tiger Dan was one of the people who kind of sat down and tried to make a model of the Earth, and he sat down and took distances between airports. I believe that's how he tried to do it. He took distances between airports and tried to like draw up a flat Earth disc-shaped model, and he couldn't actually use actual distances to scale to make a model of the flat Earth, because every time he tried, everything came out distorted. Things couldn't be in the right place. He couldn't try. He was trying to like triangulate like the position of LA compare, especially when you get to the southern hemisphere, the position of LA to like Melbourne and things like that, and everything was entirely out of proportion. He couldn't get it to work, and this led him to stop making YouTube videos, come out with a video talking about how the Earth, the flat Earth thing was kind of nonsense. He kind of, if we take him to be like an honest individual, he kind of dropped the whole flat Earth shtick because of it. And that's what happens when you have testable models, is people test them, and then that makes you kind of uncomfortable about like the conclusions, the answers that you get when you actually test your model. And so yeah, people just don't make models anymore because of it. People just kind of say things and then say we don't really know what it works. I think for a while Generanism was saying things like globe earthers have been doing this for hundreds of years, and we've only just started, so of course they're gonna have models and we're not, because they have a head start on us, and we still have to sit down and figure it out. And that's a lie. They don't do it because trying to figure out actual models is dangerous. Still in the polar map, where do you get you get white avatars. It works only from one point on Earth. Yeah, everything's just kind of a mess. Hello, buddy. You have hair all over. Gosh, you are such a little hairball. There we go. Everyone can watch you clean your legs now. All right, let's listen to a little bit more of the Morgal.
Cause convexity if the horizon is below the camera's line of sight, and it will cause concavity if the horizon is above the camera's line of sight. Now, this tells me that the people responsible for setting up the cameras for the Red Bull jump were deliberately faking curvature, as all of the fisheye cameras are perfectly oriented to produce this apparent curvature.
Or just hear me out here, the Morgal. They tried to place cameras in such a way that they could get the most amount of footage for the cameras that they set up there. I'm sure that they set up some fairly pricey cameras up into space. Again, oh god, I don't know why well, I do know why. You jump to this malicious intent, like the moment that you get a chance. You jump to malicious intent. You don't stop to think about what might be the other intents behind behind the reasoning for this, for their location links. Okay, I'm gonna edit the name of this show, because curve whatever, right? Curve sea level. I'm gonna leave it to that, because it's always good. Always good times. What? No, this is not made for kids. This show is not made for kids. Ever is this show made for kids.
It is very unlikely that they would accidentally set all their cameras up to fake Earth curvature, right?
Accidentally set up to fake Earth curvature. Oh gosh, Morgal. Oh gosh.
And of course, if you study the proportion of the apparent fake curvature relative to the altitude in, like, say, the Red Bull jump, it doesn't stack up to a ball with a radius of 4,000 miles. In other words, the Red Bull jump implies that we live on planet New Mexico, according to the ridiculous amount of curvature that you see there.
Like, I'm just, because I have to, because flat earthers repeat themselves, all I can do is repeat myself as well. This implies a level of intent that you are 100% fabricating the Morgal. Oh, kitty. There we go. Like, you are fabricating this intent. This intent was not there. You are coming up with it. You're claiming that it's being faked. You have no evidence that it's being faked. You are claiming that there is an intent behind all of it. You have no evidence that this is what is doing it. Like, yeah. Nobody, like, it'd be one thing, right? It'd be one thing if the people who set up the cameras and the people who set all of this up came like afterwards, went on and did interviews and saying, no, we didn't use wide angle lenses, no, we only use lenses that don't distort the horizon, and we had like people out there actually defending Felix Baumgartner's thing as like 100%. This is proof of the globe Earth. And, like, they have access to all this footage, right? Like they could have easily have edited their footage so that the only time that you ever saw the footage from a particular angle was the footage that lined up with the fake Earth model or whatever, right? But instead you have footage the last minutes at a time of the Earth going concave and convex because they are using a wide angle lens. They never claim otherwise. They always tell you this is the cameras that we used. They have wide angle lenses. Like, nobody is trying. Like, there is nothing here that's actually saying, like, that's actually pretending to be what it's not. Like, it's very clearly like, yeah, we use wide angle lenses. You can go on the internet and easily find out what wide-angle lenses do to shots of the horizon. It's a well-documented, well-understood phenomenon. Nobody is pretending that that's not what's happening. The only ones who say that are flat earthers, who then attribute that kind of things to people like me and say that that's what we're saying when we're not. Nobody's saying that. Yeah, you're just making it up.
And of course, in typical globe-tard fashion, instead of conceding that the point that they were wrong about classic balloon footage proving the round Earth, they actually just ignore the spirit of that actual issue at hand. They try to use their own ignorance as proof of how stupid flat earthers are. In this video clip, the famous dog cam high-altitude flight is claimed to show Earth curvature, even though no fisheye lens was used. Now, this is very deceptive, as a small degree of curvature we see is the result of two factors, neither of which are geological rotundity.
Okay, what? Oh gosh, I really wish you would stop talking like this. Okay, so let me get this straight. Because you're such a hypocrite, and I feel like this needs to be parsed out a little bit. Globe earthers, and I'm not gonna use your ableist slurs. Globe earthers refuse to admit when they're wrong, right? They're shown, I guess, time and time again that they're wrong. They're shown like, hey, look, this is what happens when this is what happens when we set with camera footage. You have been shown to be wrong over and over again. Why do globe earthers continue, like, just accept that they're wrong, right? On the other hand, now all of a sudden, this is again something that flat earthers use as evidence. You have shown evidence, like you brought up this dog cam thing earlier, and like, look, when you don't use wide angle lenses, the Earth, it looks flat. That's what you said, right? That was your thing. When you don't use wide angle lenses, the Earth is flat. So fine, if you think that this shows that the Earth is flat, let's actually look at it. But you are doing right now the thing that you are saying that globe earthers do, that they ignore the evidence and just wave it away, which is what you are just right now in this very moment doing. You are ignoring the evidence and just hand waving it away as something else because it doesn't agree with you. Hey, look, you can see what insurance I have for my motorcycle. That's nice. My name's not on there. It might be. Woo. So yeah, that's Morgal, just stop. Woo. Did not mean to do that. There we go.
The primary factor is the fact that the horizon appears at the level of the camera, 360 degrees around the observer. In other words, the horizon is an equidistant circle around the observer, slightly below the level of the eye. Now, this is true even at low altitudes where there are no obstructions towards the horizon in all directions, such as even out at sea. So, for example, if you climb to the top of a mast at a ship at sea, the illusion of curvature is still apparent and is generated by the same principle that we see in the dog cam flight.
Okay, see, so I know that this was brought up earlier, and I feel like it's worth talking about again, which is that we should send people like the Morgal to space, because if they see it themselves, right? If they That is the hope one would have. If they see it themselves, then they cannot deny. Woo! That's entirely the wrong way. Yeah, there we go. Sorry, Hobbs decided to leave it. If they see it for themselves, right? If they see the curve of the Earth themselves, they'll believe it. Now, all of a sudden, like I said earlier, they would just deny it. Morgal is saying that you can see the curve of the Earth from a high mast on a ship. That you can see the curve of the Earth, and that doesn't, like, you can see it with just your eyes. You can just see it. Somehow he claims that that's a thing, and then that even if you do, the Earth is still flat. So even if you can't see it, which he claims you can, you still shouldn't trust your lying eyes. Like, Morgile, like, you need to pick a thing here. Like, either we can trust our eyes and that what we see is reality, or we can't trust our eyes and what we see isn't reality. But you need to pick one, because they're mutually exclusive from each other. Like, you can't say that you can't see the curve of the Earth, but you can see the curve of the Earth at the same time. It makes no sense. You did it with the dog cam. Look, dog cam doesn't show curve of the Earth, the curvature of the Earth, so there you go. Also, dog cam does show the curve of the Earth, but you can see it regardless of what height you are in, so it doesn't matter. If it doesn't matter, then why are you so concerned? Like, if it doesn't matter, why are you so concerned that some footage does show it and that others don't? Like, send them to the moon. We should send Morgoth to space. We can stop right there. There we go. Send them to space. Just to space.
Now, there are other factors involved, including refraction, but the point is, the horizon is an optical phenomenon, not a geometric one. Every point of the horizon is essentially a vanishing point, as in perspective, and each of these points is equidistant from the observer, 360 degrees in all directions, causing the illusion of a curve. Okay, so just to take a moment to describe this diagram that I made.
Oh God, Morgal, just stop. I do love your shitty diagrams. They are my favorite part about your videos. It doesn't show dogs either. That's true. I hadn't even noticed that. Yeah, there's a whole lot of lack of dogs during that dog cam footage. Oh, I can't wrap my head around flat earthers' ideas of perspective. Optics relies on geometry. Perspective is this magic word that you can't make predictions with it. Sometimes for some flat earthers, perspective shows that the Earth is a curve, apparently. Sometimes for some flat earthers, it shows that the Earth is flat. Perspective is just this catch-all phrase for, if I don't have an answer for why the things look the way that they do, just say perspective and move on with life. There are no models, there are no math, there's nothing to it besides just the word perspective. It really is just meant to be a what there's a name for these kinds of words. It really is just meant to give an illusion that there's an answer, but it's really not actually an answer. There's an explanation for why it's called dog cam, but I don't know what it is. Yeah, there is. The camera company is called dog cam, I think. I don't know.
But it's intended to show the principle that I'm describing.
Okay.
So, as you can see, the line of sight of the observer there is angled down towards the ground. Now, that isn't exactly accurate because, well, we're looking at the observer from a third-person perspective. If we were standing where the observer is, the horizon would, of course, appear to be at eye level or just below eye level.
Okay, so your diagram is inaccurate, and you admit that your diagram is inaccurate, but you're still going to explain your diagram and how it is accurate. Okay, so according to you, people look down at the ground, which I mean, you're not wrong. You're not wrong about that. People look down at the ground, except for when except for when the ground is at the horizon, in which case you don't look down the ground, which makes no sense because like, how do you not look down at the ground? It's the ground. It's physically below you. You have to look down to see it. I'm confused. I'm sorry if that made no sense, but that is me trying to make sense of whatever the Moriel just said. And so I'm just very confused. In Soviet Russia, you don't see things see you. That's makes sense. That makes about as much sense as anything else does, honestly. Oh goodness. Okay.
This is of course due to the operations of perspective, where any object that is below your line of sight, as it gains distance from you, it will apparently raise up towards your line of sight. Okay, and so that applies for this, whether the Earth was a sphere or whether the Earth is flat. So to give an example of what we mean here is take a look at this perspective drawing of railroad tracks. The railroad tracks in the distance at the vanishing point appear to meet with the blue sky. Now, we certainly know that the railroad tracks are below us, below our feet, and we also understand that the sky is above.
I'm always baffled that the ideas that the flat earthers use are all come from just like art. Like, I do love that, right? I do love that they take art concepts, right? Like middle school, high school art concepts, like perspective, how to draw perspective. Which, by the way, like, if you want to draw perspective, that's how you do. You put your vanishing point or two vanishing points. You can have more than one in art, right? Like, if you've ever taken an art class, there are exercises where you put like two vanishing points, and then like you're looking down a street, and then you make everything kind of go towards those vanishing points. These are art exercises, right? This is what you do when you're trying to draw a horizon. This isn't necessarily how reality works. Like drawing isn't how reality works. Drawing is how drawing works. These are not. You can manage as many. You can manage as many points as you want. So it's a very odd. It's a very odd things that flat earthers do, that they pick like an arts topic, and that's that's somehow how all of reality works, is because of this, which is funny because there are pictures. Hey, look, there's other cat. Oh gosh, I need to move my head. There she is. Look at that little cutie. Hello. Were you under the couch this whole time? She likes to hide under the couch when the fireworks are going off. Okay, bye, girl. I love you. You gonna come sit with us? What do you think, girl? No? Okay. Okay, bye, cutie. Yes, you go do whatever you're gonna do. Sorry, I got distracted by the thing. What was this? Oh, because there are actual, pictures of that sort of pictures like this that actually show the curve of the Earth. But those somehow are not real, and somehow they, are caused by electrolysis or whatever. That's not an excuse. People have actually said that if you see things curve, it's caused by electrolysis, because they're dumb. The weird medieval shit with no jet, all the perspective. Yeah, all the perspective. God, medieval shit and medieval perspective is hilarious. They had a tendency to make more important figures bigger, and it entirely fucks with perspective. It's fantastic. I do love every bit of that. Medieval art is fun. Are you gonna sit so I can put the camera on you, girl? No? Okay. You do you. Caused by electrolysis. Yeah, that was what's his name? Anthony Riley. I think Anthony Riley was the one who said that perspective was like that, like curve. If you take one of the images that shows the curve of the Earth, it was caused by electrolysis. that's what caused it to look like it was curved. I don't want to promote. I'll be honest with you. You all know what image I'm talking about. At least I hope you do. And if you don't, I'm sorry that you don't know what image I'm talking about. But I don't want to promote that image anymore like I used to, because the person who took the image is a bit of a racist asshole, and I don't want to send more people his way. So if you don't know what picture I'm talking about, I don't know. Go Google images that show the curve of the earth. I don't know, you might be able to find it that way, but there are images that kind of recreate the image below, that with power lines, and you can out to a fairly good distance, that are kind of, the power lines are set in a straight line, and it contradicts what you see here, because rather than it going kind of in a straight line like you're taught in art, by the way, you're taught you when you do these exercises, you use a straight ruler to make these lines. It turns out when you actually take these pictures, that you can actually see the curve of the earth by following those power lines. It actually does curve in real life, which is something you're not necessarily taught in art, because it's a detail that, I don't know, probably isn't worth trying to get it correct. So you can find people have actually done these images. The one that I can think of, like I said, I'm not going to promote, because the person who took that image, I don't want any more of traffic going their way. So you're going to have to do your own research. But the images do exist. So if you are curious, just Google, I don't know, images to show the perspective images. I don't know, something. I'm sure you can Google something and find the right one. But yeah, no, it does exist. You can recreate these images, and it doesn't show this. It's great. It's fantastic. All right, with that said, let's listen to a little bit more of the Morgue. We're actually pretty close to finishing this video.
Yet, due to the operations of perspective, the railroad tracks appear to line up with our line of sight and join with the sky above. So this is a bit of an optical illusion. Certainly we understand that the railroad tracks don't actually raise up towards our eye. It is an optical phenomenon. As you can see, the horizon is an equidistant circle around the observer, and of course he wouldn't see the horizon below him. It would appear at his eye level, or just below the eye level.
Okay. I think I finally figured out what he's trying to show here. I don't know. It could be wrong. Why? Okay. When he says around you, okay, now I get it. I think maybe, I don't know, I could be wrong. So when he says around you, I could probably do a better job at the Morgal explaining his own goddamn concept. So when I was looking at this, I was very confused, right? So it looks like from the way he's showing it, it looks like you have a person. Hey, look, I have a person. You have a person, and then they're looking out. And what we are seeing, we are standing. I need another person. Do I have another person? I have plenty of other people's. Come here, Rocket. You're gonna be the next person. Okay, so when I was looking at this image by the Morgal, I thought this is the person in white kind of floating in the air, and we are here looking at this person, and they are looking at us, and so that's what those lines were. But that's wrong. I think what the Morgal is trying to show us is that we're here. I had rings. Where are they? Haha. I have all these props. I love the fact that I have all these props. So what he's showing us is like this ring is the horizon, and here's the person in the middle, and so as they turn around, they can always see the horizon. I think that's what he's trying to show us, but then he like lifts the person up, so it's like this. I think that's what he's trying to show. Like this ring is the ring in his picture, and the person. Like, I thought the person was here, but I think the person's in here. Does that make sense? I think that's what he's trying to show. I think I could be wrong, because yeah, that's like that. Like, I first thought it was this, but I think it's this. Yeah. R&D, you were pointing from eyes on his example is obviously looking with things from his. This is a strum. It is. He's looking from his thighs. Because we don't see from up here. We see from down here. Okay. They're flying now. I don't know. We can fly. I am. The Morgal does not does not ever give us the best, which is why I love him so much. Honestly, he does not give us the best examples of anything ever. It's fantastic. I never know whether the diagrams are bad because they're deliberately making the bad diagrams or because they have a rubbish visual sense. It might be rubbish visual sense. I mean, like, considering how often things like smaller things being further away confuses them. That concept confuses them. I wouldn't be surprised if they just don't understand visual, like 3D thinking isn't their forte. She's not who you think she is. Nobody is. Don't underestimate the power of flying man with dick vision. I do love that. Yes. So I think I have figured out this diagram. I'm probably wrong though, but I think I figured it out.
This is the principle we're talking about. If you were to raise this observer up higher in altitude, his angle of attack towards the horizon would indeed be a wider angle of attack, therefore constituting a larger circle around him. But this principle applies, again, even if you're out at sea. It's hard to find videos that capture this, or it's hard to express this principle in videos.
Probably, and not because it's such a complex idea that it's hard to explain. It's probably because you suck at it. Like, I think I finally have figured out what you're talking about, but it took a bit there. It took a bit. Oh god, it took way too long. So they see like medieval illustrations. I think so. Not just like we all see like medieval illustrations. Like everything's a medieval illustration, I guess. I don't know. I legit don't know. Okay, we're just.
But I have been out at sea and climbed atop the mast of a ship, and you do get the same effect, where the horizon is, of course, at eye level, is an equidistant circle around you, and you do get this illusion of curvature. And that's exactly the same thing that's happening with the dog cam footage, where you have this minor apparent curvature. Has nothing to do with Earth curvature. It has to do with the way in which our eyes interpret reality.
Yeah, so at this point, like for a while, flat earthers were very much so in the if the earth were curved, we'd be able to see it, right? Like for a long time that was their thing. If the earth were curved, show me the curve, show me, like, I want evidence, I want to be able to see it. That was their thing for a very, very long time. They've entirely, at least the Morial Heroes, have entirely dropped that as a explanation, because now even if he were to see it, because he says he's seen curve, so even if you could have him see it for himself, he's still going to deny it as some sort of illusion caused by perspective, right? So he's not even going to trust himself to be able to see this. So what's the point? What is the point of giving flat earthers any evidence? What's the point of dealing with them, really? Like of trying to go through the trouble of showing them what they asked for, if they, at the end of the day, they're just going to be like, no, it doesn't actually show that because you're lying eyes, because your eyes are going to always show curvature or whatever. It doesn't matter. It legit just goes to show you how willing they are to get rid of, or not to deny all evidence that contradicts what they've already settled on. Okay, I'm imagining the inside of their heads are like Terry Gilliam cartoons. It's like I wonder like legit how much of it is just like difficulties understanding 3D space. Like it's got to be some of that, right? Like some of it is like, because every time it's, we talk about distances to far distant objects, or you talk about like solar and lunar eclipses, it's always this struggle of like understanding 3D space. It legit seems to be a thing that they struggle with a whole lot.
The main thing is, and I would say, yes, circles are always curved, but curved things are not always spheres, right? So anyway, the main thing here is the fact that flat earthers never made the argument that non-fisheye videos like the ones from the dog cam flight proved flat Earth. That
you have. I'm sure that I could. I'm sure that I could go through my videos, and because I've been talking about flat Earth stuff for a long time, that I can go through my videos, and you can find videos that I've talked about where flat earthers say that, where flat earthers say, when you send out and they would have to, right? Because that, okay, two things, because I just had a realization that they would have had to. You could find videos where flat earthers have said that, where flat earthers have said, look, when you send up a camera without a fisheye lens, the earth looks flat, therefore the earth is flat. It's only when you send out cameras with a wide angle lens that you see a curved horizon. I'm sure that I could find those within the videos that I've talked about, that I've responded to. I've been doing Longer and Harder for like 2-3 years now. I'm sure that in there somewhere there is definitely a point where we talked about that. On the other hand, you would have to have had flat earthers do that, because otherwise things like flat earthers sending cameras up in weather balloons or whatever, them going through that effort of doing that, the flat earthers like Jaronism did like a whole thing, like he raised a bunch of money to do this. Then what was the point of doing that? What was the point of flat earthers sending their own independent balloons up to go look at the horizon from a weather balloon? What was the point of them doing that? What was the point of them raising money to do that? What is the point of them making sure that they send out cameras without wide angle lenses? What was the point of all of that if not to be able to say, look, we sent out a camera without a wide angle lens and it shows that the earth is flat? That was the point of doing those kinds of experiments. Again, Jaronism has, I think he's deleted his footage because it shows that the earth was curved. That was the point. That was the point of flat earthers engaging in that for however long they did that. Engage in that little experiment, was so that they could have footage. But it turns out that when they did send out cameras without a wide angle lens, when they actually bothered to do it, it showed what we expected it would show, that it showed that the earth was curved. And so now, years later, you are changing your tune. You are at this point, I'm going to go with lying. You are now lying about what flat earthers say, because you realize that if you continue to on the same, if you continue to say the same claims that you've been doing this whole time, that you look like idiots. And so you're just now going to lie and say, no, we never said that. That was never the point. No, that was your point. That is why you and your group of friends sent out cameras up on whatever balloons. That's why you did it. It's because you were claiming that that it is only the wide angle lenses that do it, and non-wide angle lenses don't do it. That was your claim. Also, I think I have videos where I debunk people who have said that. So you're just full of lies, the more guy. You're just full of lies.
It really was never the argument. The argument only ever was the fact that fisheye lens videos do not prove curvature, right? Okay, so for videos like this to claim the curvature we've seen in the dog cam flight debunks flat earthers' point is a total red herring. Not only do they misunderstand what the horizon is, but they also misrepresent the actual point made by flat earthers, which was, again, we proved that they were faking curvature with fisheye lenses.
You get one last time. You did not prove that anyone was faking anything. In order to make the claim that whatever Red Bull or whoever else is sending whoever else is doing these kinds of things, right? In order to prove that they're faking it, you're gonna have to show that there's intent to them putting those cameras on there, right? Intent that goes beyond, we need to have a wide angle shot of this thing that we just paid a whole lot of money to do. You need to actually have evidence that the intent was to fake the curvature of the earth. You don't have that. You don't have evidence of intent. You have evidence of them putting cameras, wide angle cameras up there, and then you telling us what the intent of those cameras was. I propose a different intent, which is that they just needed good footage and lots of it, because you're going to spend a lot of money doing this nonsense. You might as well get your money's worth out of it. Oh God, you are tiresome.
The fact of the matter is, many people were convinced for years of Earth curvature due to this sort of trick photography. Of course, even if the Earth were a ball, you would never see such drastic curvature from the altitude of a weather balloon. Furthermore, assuming a flat Earth with an atmosphere which refracts light, you would indeed expect the horizon to appear as a circle around you, slightly below eye level. Now, this apparent horizon will grow in radius proportionally with altitude as your angle of attack or your line of sight towards the horizon grows wider and wider as you gain in altitude.
Yes, we already talked about this.
A larger and larger circle around you, even though the Earth is flat.
Okay.
So, once again, the globetards use their ignorance as a weapon against the truth and will always try to subtly repackage valid flat Earth arguments into something that they can present as proof of the globe Earth. And, you know, they've been doing this.
No, this... like hot pot meat kettle kind of thing. Really, whenever they ask for proof, we should just keep showing the latest image from Himawari 8. Make them prove that the pictures are fake. Yes, that would be fantastic. It would be fantastic if every time flat earthers said something is fake, they actually demonstrated that it was fake, not just saying it's fake, it's CGI, it was deliberately done. Like, you have to actually demonstrate that these things are deliberately done. You have to demonstrate that intent. You can't just say it was done because of this and then stop there. Like, you actually have to demonstrate the intent behind it.
For as long as I've been into this stuff. So, all right, guys, and so before we wrap this thing up, I do want to mention a quick plug for a...
Okay. Hey, we finished the video. I'm not gonna sit through his plug. I don't know if these are good people or not people, so I don't know. Don't give them their money, I guess, or do. It's up to you. You're an adult, I hope, and you can do adult decisions of your own. Just ask them for proof and then disprove them. It's true. Hello, girl. Hey, you gonna come join us for a little bit? But we finished the thing. Congratulations, us. That is 2 weeks in a row that we have managed to finish a video. So yay us. Super cool. We do get boobs for that because, you know, why not? Let's do that because we finished our things. Good job, us. We did fantastic. Go. So with that said, I think we're done for the day. I'm sorry if you were here for the cancel culture thing and we ended up having to scrap that. Sorry, and sorry for the smaller choice of videos, but you know, we got there. We got there eventually. It was still a good time. We haven't talked about Flat Earth in quite a bit, and it's always fantastic to see that nothing has changed over the last however many years. People have been making Flat Earth videos on YouTube. It's the exact same nonsense as it was before. That's fantastic. Great. No need to progress at all. Stagnation is the best. Where is the social distancing? No one's social distancing. Oh God. I will say, last thing before I leave, do social distance, wear a mask, please. Also, I went to South Dakota and nobody wears a mask or social distances, and it was fucking terrifying, and I hated every last bit of it. I went into a gas station to get firewood. And I was like, it was way more people in there than should be in there. It was like a good solid, like 15 people in a very, very small gas station. And then besides that, I was legit the only one wearing a mask, not even the clerks. Nobody was wearing a mask. Anywhere that I went to anywhere that I went to in South Dakota, no one was wearing a mask. It was disturbing and I didn't like it. Oh, it was awful. R&D, have you dropped Eric Dubay proofs? I mean, I still have more. I haven't written a script in a while. It's hard to get back into Eric Dubay Flat Earth stuff. It's one of those things that I am currently struggling with as a YouTube creator, is how to get into the groove of things again. I see that there is things that I really want to talk about more than Flat Earth stuff. Like I enjoy it. It's fun. It's a fun little bit, right? But I like there are things happening in the world that I feel like are far more worth my time to talk about, or that I'm more engaged with, including you know, there's a bunch of defunding the police and Black Lives Matters and things like that, that even though they are less popular on my channel to do, I have gotten more fulfillment. I've gotten more fulfillment of doing those kinds of things. So I got a whole lot more out of doing like the Black Lives Matter D&D stream that I DM'd and I did with my friends. That was more fulfilling to me as a person than like making Eric Dubay videos. They're just, you know, I made a small difference. We donated quite a bit of money. We got a lot of donations, and hopefully they helped get people out of jail or pay for their legal expenses. Currently, there's, you know, that for that tribe in Rushmore and Mount Rushmore, because a lot of the people at that tribe were arrested for defending their land, and that's not okay. That they got arrested. And so I've gotten more out of engaging in that kind of stuff than I've gotten out of engaging in like flat earth stuff, which is why I kind of don't do it. Yeah, I basically have 1 or 2 videos and I get a free one. It's true. So I'll see. I'll sit down and look at where I am and whatnot. I do want to finish it. It's one of those things that's like, I feel kind of dumb not finishing, but it's probably going to take me a bit to kind of get inspired again to want to work on it. But we'll see. Either way, thank you everyone for being here. I do appreciate you all taking the time to hang out with me this wonderful Sunday afternoon. Go outside and walk around, but don't interact with people. Wear a mask. You know, do all the things. Wear a mask, social distance. We will we'll see you all next time. So hopefully we'll see you Friday or Saturday afternoon for D&D stuff. Come join me for that. It's fun. Otherwise, I will see you all next time.